Well, it was a fun ride while it lasted. It was about time we came across a comic that just wasn't quite up to par. Welcome to Star Joes. I'm your host Ryan, and today we're going to be covering Aliens vs. Predators Life and Death #1 by Dark Horse Comics. Now, Aliens vs. Predator #1 is written by Dan Abnett, and the art is by Brian Albert Thies. Now, when it comes to the Aliens property and the Predator property, it was only a matter of time before these two properties came together, and Dark Horse Comics was the first one to do that before even the movies came out. Now, I know there's mixed feelings when it comes to the Aliens franchise and the Predator franchise, and there's certainly controversy when it comes to the Aliens versus Predator franchise when it comes to the films. Now, I'm here to tell you that I am a fan of the Aliens movies, except for #4, Resurrection. That one's a bit iffy. I can still watch it, but it is the worst out of all of them as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to the Predator movies, I've actually enjoyed all of them. I think they've all been done pretty well. And when it comes to the Aliens versus Predator movies, yeah, they're not the greatest, but they're kind of that fun kind of bad. I actually really enjoy watching them, kind of like watching Resident Evil movies or any other movie you can think of where they're really not considered good by any standards, but they're still kind of fun to watch. So when it comes to the comics of Dark Horse doing the Aliens property and the Predator property and bringing them together, they've actually done a far better job when it comes to the movies themselves. Now, Dark Horse has been doing the Aliens and Predator comics and the Aliens vs. Predator comics for a really long time now, and they've had a lot of success with them. In my opinion, this is not one of them, and it's kind of sad to say that because when it comes to stories and everything, Dan Abnett's actually a writer I really enjoy. He really got me into loving Legion of Superheroes. He totally hooked me when he started doing the Marvel Cosmic stuff with Annihilation. In fact, that was my first introduction to Guardians of the Galaxy, and I cannot thank him enough for that. But when it comes to this particular issue, it really fell flat for me. Now, the reason that I would advise you against this issue if you're not picking up all the Aliens issues and all the Predator issues and the Prometheus issues that have the Life and Death tag on it is because this issue isn't actually a #1 issue. If you open up the cover and look at the inside cover, it's actually part 13 of a 17-part story. Yeah. And I didn't know that until I actually started reading it and realized how lost I was in the story. And I was like, did I miss something on the inside cover? And when you look at the inside cover, it just looks like a credits page. It really doesn't give you anything to make you believe that, oh, I should read something here. Except for that one line that actually does say part 13 in a 17-part story. Now, why they just didn't make it called Aliens vs. Predator Life and Death and make it a 17-part story, I don't really know. I'm sure it's to get people like myself who just decided to pick up, oh, here's a #1 issue, let me read this, it's part of a mini-series. No, it's part of almost an ongoing series. And you really find this out right at the beginning. Like I said, at the beginning of the story, I was really lost. And I don't have a problem with being lost at the beginning of a story. In fact, something like this, I was kind of expecting, okay, things are going to be revealed to me. It opens up with a guy in a cell, and another guy comes running up wanting to let him out because he knows how to access the armory. Next thing you know, a predator shows up and kills the guy that was about to let the prisoner out. This is all really an intense scene, and you're like, okay, there must be more to this story. But they don't give you anything more in this issue to understand what's the importance of these two guys and why you should care about them, why their deaths are important. And that's when I realized it's because I could only care about these characters if I read the previous 12 issues. I really picked this issue up thinking I was just going to be reading a short miniseries, not knowing that I was going to have to invest 12 previous issues to understand anything that was going on. I read the rest of the issue and I just got more and more lost. There was characters that were being introduced, but they weren't being introduced. You had to already know who these characters were to care about any of them. You had to know what was going on in the story to understand why even the ending had such a big significance. And unfortunately, I didn't read any of that previous story, so I had absolutely no idea. I was completely lost in this. Dark Horse did not do a good job of setting this up for success for any new reader. Labeling a number 1 is very deceitful. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why you did it other than to get that number 1 cash grab, which, hey, you got from me. Now, when it comes to the art, it's also very sloppy. It's a very loose-based art style. There's heavy inks on it. There's a lot of dark ink on it all over the place. And that really takes away from any of the art that could be considered good in this issue. Like I said, when it comes to the Dark Horse series of Aliens, Predators, and Aliens vs. Predators, I'm used to a certain art style. I know a lot of times the inks can be heavy. I know a lot of times it can be a little bit messy. And I'm okay with that. It just, when you're already reading a story that you feel completely lost in and you can't even enjoy the artwork, that really takes you out of it. By the end of the story, there's a big reveal that happens, and unfortunately, because I didn't know anything that was going on, it was completely lost on me. I absolutely love these properties. I love the Aliens property. I love the Predator property. I love when the two of them come together. It just seems like a natural battle with humans being caught up in the middle of it. But when it came to this issue, it didn't even make me want to pick up the next one to find out, well, maybe they're going to explain something for me. Maybe some of the things I'm lost on, I'll understand in the next issue. It also didn't make me want to go and get the previous 12 issues. Again, I really feel like Dark Horse missed the mark on this. I really feel like they could have done a better job, maybe made this part of an ongoing series. I don't know. Again, I feel like they were just trying to put a number 1 issue out there, really multiple number 1 issues out there, to get people to pick them up because they were number 1s. But they're not a true number 1. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse about how much I didn't enjoy this issue and for the reasons I didn't enjoy it. I'm sure there's those of you out there that read the entire storyline and maybe you did enjoy it. I remember reading the Fire and Ice storyline, and I got every part of that, and I did enjoy that. However, it was set up very similar to this, which was kind of what steered me away from this series. But again, I saw a number 1 issue for a mini-series. I saw Aliens vs. Predator. I thought, hey, let me give it a shot. However, it just didn't work for me. And that's why I got to say that Aliens vs. Predator Life and Death number 1 really should be tossed into the Sarlacc pit, where it will be slowly digested over the next 1,000 years. You guys have no idea how much I hate giving a bad rating to a comic. I go into every single comic hoping I'm going to enjoy it, wanting to love it, especially when it's a property that I really enjoy. But this one just didn't cut it for me. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know if you read Aliens vs. Predator Life and Death number 1. What did you think of it? Were you someone that read the previous issue so you really understood what was going on? Do you think it's worth me going back and reading those previous issues, or am I better off just leaving it go at this one issue and not enjoying it and moving on to some better things? I'd also like to know which Alien movie and which Predator movie are your favorites. Do you enjoy just the old classics? Do you enjoy some of the new ones that have come out? Do you like the Aliens vs. Predator crossovers? I really want to hear from you down in the comments below. I've really enjoyed some of the comments that people have left and interacting with all of you. So if you like this video, then please click that like button. If you want to see more of these videos, then please click that subscribe button. I do have a lot more videos coming up in the very near future. A lot of things that I'm recording for you guys I think you'll really enjoy. We're going to touch back to the Revolution series, and we're also going to touch on a few other comics that have come out in the recent past that I really want to hear what you guys think about it. I want to open up that discussion channel with all of you guys. But until then, the Force will be with you, because knowing us is half the battle. Take care, everyone.